let's come back to Britain now. What did you make of King Charles's speech last night in the city at Mansion House? I thought it was rather good. One mustn't criticise the Queen, but her speeches were notoriously bland.
Boring, yeah.
Bland and boring, the kind of speech, the oratorial equivalent of the colour beige. But King Charles made a good speech last night, talking about civility, tolerance, even in the most fractious of times, talking about how, why can't we learn to have civilised arguments rather than calling each other names on Twitter? And so I thought it was quite interesting.
Great sentiments, but what does it actually translate into? As he's making that speech, there were hundreds of Palestinian supporters gathering on Withe Hall, all crouching down on the ground to pray in front of the gates of Downing Street. I mean, those images I find pretty unsettling. Not because we don't honour people's right to different religious beliefs and so on, and all of that is absolutely fine. But where are the allegiances of people in this country? There have been many, many disturbing scenes in the last week or so, which have led me to be really worried about what we have got going on here.
I'm going to go off piece here a bit because I'm really keen to get your view on the BBC in all of this. John Simpson, the 146-year-old foreign editor there, I think he calls himself foreign executive editor now or something, he's in trouble for trying to explain why the BBC doesn't call Hamas terrorists. And he cited, even in the Second World War, we didn't call the Nazis evil or something like that.
Probably remembers.
And Grant Shapps has come out and said, well, when you start quoting the Nazis, that means you've
always
lost the argument.
Yeah.
But far more worrying, their reporter over there in Gaza, when that bomb or missile hit the hospital there 2 nights ago now, he came on air and he said, it's difficult to see how anyone else but Israel could be to blame for this atrocity. Now, I know for a fact that at the BBC, they are tearing their hair out about this. That was an outrageous thing to say. And by the way, it is now looking as if these reports of hundreds dead, 500 dead, are dubious, to say the least. It looks like a fairly small missile hit the car park, set fire to a few cars. So we don't know the truth of this, but this BBC reporter immediately announced to millions of BBC viewers this was Israel. Outrageous.
I mean, there's an absolute toxic whirlpool of misinformation, isn't there, at the moment? And the BBC should not be playing its part in fueling that. I think that the corporation has had a disastrous war so far. We heard this morning Tom Tugendhat, the Security Minister, condemning the lies that are being propagated. I mean, this is strong language. The corporation was already in trouble on so many fronts, and this just highlights everything that I think people are concerned about. It will reopen questions about the licence fee. Unfortunately, the Tories, who have had so many years to do something about it, they have missed their chance, and I'm afraid this just goes on.
Yeah, well, I know for a fact, personally, there's a lot of good journalists at the BBC, and there is utter turmoil at Broadcasting House about the way the BBC looks like it's backing Hamas.
Just
they
ridiculous.
Are really upset about it. So don't let anyone persuade you, like John Simpson, that it's all calm there and we're sure of what we're doing. They're not. They're making a mistake.